we're going to make piping. How do you do it? Well, it's all about the aid of these feet. Can you see the groove in it? These are attachments that we put onto the machine. Right, I've got here 3 different sizes. Depending on what size your piping is, you use one of these. Today I'm going to use this size, which is 1/4 of an inch. The other ones are bigger. 3/3 of an eighth. That one is 1/4, but they're definitely different. You can see for yourself, one's bigger than the other. But yet on it it's written 1/4, but it's not. Right, and here we have our piping cord. Lots of it. And all we need now is our fabric. So what I'm going to show you is your fabric from a square, right? How to use it. When you pull your fabric, the tightness, you will see that it doesn't give. But if you turn it to the side and pull it, you can see it gives a little bit. That's what's called the bias. It stretches that side. And that is the section that we're going to use when we make piping. It's when you've got a square bit of fabric, it's literally going through the middle of the fabric, halving it, and then cutting this section out of it. But sometimes what I do is I don't go in the middle all the time, because so long as I get a little bit of a bias, that's good enough for me. So at the top of the fabric I start to fold it a little bit there, and it gives a little, and that's enough for me to use for bias. If you don't use it on the bias, what will happen is when you start putting it round your string, you will find that by the time you put it to your garments or whatever it is, it will start puckering all along here, and it just looks untidy. So it's on the bias, it gives a bit. So what we do is we cut out, say, 1.5 inch of fabric on the bias, right? So it gives. So you get strips and strips of it, and then what you do after that is you stitch the strips together, and that's what I'm going to do now. You put it, the 2 together like this, so it forms a cross. And of that cross, you stitch from point to point. And then when you've done that from point to point, you will have, let's cut it off so you can see, you will have that shape. And that's the way you stitch it. And when you open it up, it opens up in one long strip, back to normal. Let me see if I can get this for you. It opens up. Right, let me do that again. So here we have it on our table. Then you put the 2 together like that. Then you stitch across here, and then when you open it up, you've got one continuous long strip. And that's what we do with all our length. So now we put one fabric down, going that way, and then we put the other one on top to form a right angle, and then we turn it to the side and we stitch at an angle from corner to corner. And then we cut this bit off, and we open it up, and there we have a nice neat join that doesn't get in the way when we're piping, because it misses each other when it's turned. Can you see that? It forms a V. There's one there, and the other one is the other side. So that helps so that you don't have a bump when you put in your cord in. So, right, now we've changed our foot, so now all we do is just really put the 2 together and pipe. And for this I could use a big stitch because you're not going to see this stitch and you just want to finish it quicker. So we put the two together, fold it in half. You've got enough fabric there. And stitch away. And you just make as much as you need. See, while I'm doing this action, you can feel the fabric giving, stretching. And here it is. Your piping. And that's all to it. How to make your piping. There we go. A nice set of boomerangs, tie backs. As you can see what I've done with the piping. And that is how to make your piping. As you can see, the piping both sides. Finishing touches. All the way around. Pair of boomerangs.